Welcome back to Ask Rad Rat. Got a couple more questions for you today. I'm just going to jump right into it. The first one is from One Up Mushroom, who wants to know, should you try to skate switch equally as well as regular? And I think this is a good question. So first of all, skateboarding is an art. If that's what you want to do, then just go ahead and do it. If you feel like you really conquered a trick because you did it in every stance, then that's cool. But you asked my opinion, and here it is. So imagine you go to an art gallery and you walk in and you see some paintings and you're like, whoa, it really blows you away. The line work's so intricate and detailed and everything's so clean, and wow, that one's great. And then this one, whoa, look at that. And then there's this one over here and it's just kind of smudgy. Some of the lines are a little bit shaky and you don't really get it. And the guy comes over to you, the artist, and he's like, hey man, I did that one left-handed. Maybe you look at it again and you think, oh, well, I mean, that's impressive. I wouldn't be able to do that. But it really doesn't hit you the same way as the first ones that you saw. And to me, that's what switch is like. I would much rather see a really good trick done in your normal stance than something that I know you did that felt awkward. I don't want to have to do math in my head when I watch you skate. Remembering what your stance is, and then also how often you skate switch. So if P-Rod does a switch backside flip down something, who cares? He does everything switch. But this guy over here does a switch backside flip. It's a big deal because he never skates switch. Whatever. I don't want to have to think about all that stuff. I just want to watch the skating and enjoy it, And so I think the idea of having to do everything equally both ways is going to go away in the future anyway. For a couple of reasons. First of all, if you look at all the new fad tricks that people are doing right now, a lot of them aren't switch. Landing in no complies and whatever, all that stuff people are doing, you don't really see it switch that often. It's just more about coming up with a new way to do it, a new variation or whatever. And also, the second reason is on Instagram. If you are scrolling through, and Instagram is more and more important to skateboarding all the time, if you're scrolling through on Instagram and you see a trick that is pretty good, you just keep on scrolling. You don't read through it and check if it was switch, And so for this sort of idea of seeing one trick at a time, and you publish your tricks from that day that you did it, switch stuff isn't really going to get as much attention because people aren't going to know that it was switch. Especially if it's like a reposting account where you see it all. If you don't know who that person is and you just see a trick, a regular or normal stance trick is going to be a lot better for that kind of format. And for me also, if you think about the art guy again, if he didn't bother with all that left-handed stuff, spent all of his time doing nothing but right-handed, his paintings would be even better. And so I think doing switch is almost kind of a waste of time. Doing some basics, learning the basics is great. I think there's a lot of good times to use switch stance. Like in a line, if you need to get turned around. If you do a lot of tech skating, you're gonna find yourself in a switch nose or a fakie nose manual, and you're gonna need to switch flip out of it. That kind of stuff. You should definitely have some of the basics, or a spot that you go to where it's only one directional and there's a certain trick you want to do on it. Some people find different tricks easier in switch, so that is a good reason to skate switch as well. But for me, trying to do everything equally both ways is kind of a waste of time, and I don't think you should bother. Next question today is from Aaron Williamson, who wants to know, why are roast beef grabs uncool? So it's not just roast beef grabs, it's actually the whole category of stinkbug grabs. Now, if you're not familiar with that, basically what it means is a grab that's not tweaked out. So if you grab like the middle of the board, you grab indie or roast beef, your knees will kind of go opposite ways and you just kind of like crouch in the air. And that's really not the most stylish thing to do. The tricks that are really cool, the grab tricks, are ones where like a tuck knee grab or like a Japan or something where you can pull the board over and bend your knees both in the same way. That looks a lot better in skateboarding, and there's really no way to do that with a roast beef. If you wanted to really tweak it out, you would have to grab behind your leg and do a stalefish. And so grabs like that just really, there's no way to really make them look great. And that's why I think in snowboarding you can do roast beefs and it's a little bit different. But in skateboarding, I don't think it'll ever really be a huge thing. It's just kind of like something to do because you can, and not necessarily something that looks good in a picture or anything. So That's why it's not cool, and I think it's going to stay that way. Well, that's it for this time. Let me know your questions for the next round of Ask Rad Rat in the comments here. I also have a Twitter and Instagram account that you can ask questions on as well. Until next time, here are some more videos that I've done recently that you might want to check out. Do a lot more than just Ask Rad Rat, so you can see some examples of different kinds of things right here. And until next time, thanks for watching.